Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This week's show, we're talking about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about Dealing with Mikadono Sisters is a Breeze, Season 1, Episode 8. Another great episode. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. So, after coming back from some training, you and Nico are greeted by Kazuki and Miwa, who kind of try to be like, oh, we're going to cook for you. We're trying to handle things while you're away. This is our way to like also welcome you back home, kind of trying to fill you's shoes and do for him what he's always done for them. But obviously the kitchen is a mess because, well, what they try to make is a mess because they don't know how to cook. And it's just kind of like, oh, well, you know, it's going to take a little bit longer. And you could obviously take a shower in a time frame. It's like, oh, all that hype. Because funny enough, they had their vision of how things were going to go. They thought you was going to come in, eat what they made, and be like, oh my God, it's so delicious. And Nico's like, really? That's what you really thought was going to happen? And so you teaches him how to cook and stuff like that. And it's like, right. He's like, all right, let me teach you guys. Teaching Kazuki, like, bro, you have to memorize the recipes, which obviously she's very good at that because, you know, learning lines all the time. And then turns to Miwa and it's like, oh yeah, like you should basically have instead of like moving the knife on the thing you're trying to peel bring the thing to the knife rather, you know? And so she's like, okay, and she responds in a way that she would respond to her shogi master, and she's like, no, I didn't mean to, you know? So, and then Nico's just seeing like how they're kind of acting towards him. It's just like, oh, like she's not used to seeing them like this. Because they want to show their support not only to Nico but also to you, and so the food comes out great this time. It turns out the meal that they were trying to make the entire time was Nico's favorite meal, which is super sweet. But Yu's hand's a little wobbly because he's sore from training. So Miwa offers to feed him. And then Kazuki, who blows on it first and then gives it to Yu. And then just Nico's just over there like gobsmacked by the whole thing. But as the subtitle says, it's like, oh, something got awakened in them. Because both of them are like, yo, we're so used to be on the receiving end to be the giver. Actually feels really nice too. So it's really sweet. And obviously there to kind of like, you know, while he's training with Nico and they're like checking in on him, making sure he's okay. Like they're doting on him a little bit. It's actually really, really sweet. So obviously, really leading into the training, putting in all the time and effort that they can, because obviously they only got a couple days. And then like, I want to say it was like probably the day before the competition, Tatsumi runs into Nico, and for him what's bothering him is Nico's not acting like the Nico he knows. And for him, when he runs into her, he's like, you're weak, and like the way you're acting is pathetic. Like the fact is you're gonna rely on someone rather than using your own strength. He's like, that's pathetic. For him, it's like, that's not the Nico I know. And it makes her feel pathetic because it's like, once again, he's just kind of like the same thing as like her dad. Like he can say stuff that, because he knows her so well, since they have such history, that's a guy that you look up to. This is a friend and senpai that you look up to because he was there for you and he's always been an inspiration. He's kind of like your hero. And for him to say that, it cuts so deep because it feels like the person who knows you the best cuts you so deep. And so later on when they're trading, she apologizes to you because she's always been stuck with what expectations people have for her. It's like, right, she's got to be strong. She can't be feminine. She can't like cute things. And it's just like, right, like, and she, because Tatsumi was kind of suggesting like she's letting someone else make the decision for her. And even she's saying because of like her dad, because of Tatsumi, obviously wanted to be that, you know, leader and that captain for, you know, her team. It's like she was also like divisive. She was like torn and like indecisive because it's like, I got to be this person, but I can't be the person. Like I want to like cute stuff. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm so out of character. But for you, it's like, no, you're not out of character. He's like, I mean, when I first started living here, I thought you were like, you know, a monster. But it's like, no, I realized that you're very orderly, you're very particular, you're very much like cute things. And so he tries to tell her, like, that's a side of you. Like, it's not like there's a right side and a wrong side. Every facet of who you are is you. And because she's been burying a part of her side, a side of herself for so long, because she had to be what people told her she was. It's like, well, you're not this, you're that. It's like, and they were wrong. And that's going to be the true beauty of it, is like, you are a fully fledged person when you're embracing all that you are. Every facet of you makes you who you are, so to deny even a part of yourself to some degree is denying yourself in general. You're always going to be, she's always basically been fighting with with her arm tied behind her back, because she hasn't fully embraced herself. And it's like, once you kind of accept all facets of yourself, something beautiful comes from it. So the day of the match comes. We have Kazuki has a performance coming up, and obviously Miwa has a match, and they both want to burn through the situations as quickly as possible because they want to go support Yu and Nico. And in fact, Yu came up with another dastardly plan. For him, it's like, I'm going to change the rules up on Tatsumi. It's going to be a 2-on-1 fight. He's like, basically, if one of us beats you, then that means Nico gets to stay. So he's got to win both bouts. And it's like, also, I think it's also important that it played out this way too, because I think it was important for Nico to be the one to see this through, because she would probably feel a certain way if it was just you, but her kind of doing it on her own, I think it makes it that much more important, and it kind of stings more. It would sting a lot if it was you, but once again, it's unreasonable for him to be the top guy at a high school level, considering like that Yu has only been doing this for like a week. He's only been doing training. So yeah, he's gotten a little bit better, which we didn't even see the match at all. We just saw him get completely and utterly decimated, sadly. And obviously everyone's calling him out, being like, oh, he's so underhanded and stuff like that. Even the karate club saying that, and some people in the crowd are saying that. But for Nico, it's like, yo, you're going to be the villain. He's like, I don't care if I'm the villain, because he's willing to do whatever it takes to keep her home with them. So because he's like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect you, and I'm going to see this through. And so got a good luck send off by her, and then the match did not go his way, because the plan was like, even if I don't beat him, I can wear him down and you could take advantage of it. And I thought maybe that's what this plot was going to be like. Oh, like he leaves a weakness or something. It's like, the typical thing of, oh my God, this person went up and they dealt a powerful blow, but they still lost, and the next fighter takes advantage of that weakness and exploits it. I thought it'd be something like that, but no, you, like I said, got effortlessly decimated, and now it's Nico's turn. And so she's going full throttle because she's trying to make sure that Tatsumi's not able to use his legs. So she's like trying to keep it close in, and she's got him against the ropes, but it is like him not fighting back. He's purely defensive, but she's like, all he's doing is blocking. It feels like he already knows my every move, and sadly it's because he does. He's like, we've been training together since we were kids. I know you in and out, because she's very by the book. So she's very like, so all you have to know is like what she's going to do, because she's going to play it straight by the book. And because of that, he's able to take advantage of it, and he's knocking Nico down, and he gets the upper hand points wise. It's like, because I think it's like 4 points in total or something like that, because I think he's up like 3 at this point, and Nico hadn't landed a single point on him. And he's like, right, let's just save ourselves like the embarrassment of this. Just let's quit this. You come to the school and we can get you stronger together. But then Yu's on the sideline with the karate club with these signs up, being like, yo, you can do it. Good luck. Come on, guys. And she's like, you're embarrassing. This is embarrassing. But then she can't help but laugh and smile. And she's like, this isn't the time to smile. But then she kind of thinks to herself, like, no, she's even thinking about Yu when he was training, like he wasn't the most conventional. And I don't know if that in itself was full inspiration for herself too. But it's like, yeah, Yu has always been like, oh, I'll use the most underhanded tactics I can to win, because I don't care about that stuff. I'm sure it wasn't a direct thing in her mind, but it was all of that making her feel comfortable to be herself. Something no one else ever did, had never let her be herself and allowed her to be herself. And so in this moment, she starts whooping on Tatsumi because she's doing things he can't predict, because he's so certain, like, oh, she's going to do this and do that. And it's because he's stuck in his head about, and that's also what frustrates him the most. I think it's because, once again, he believes himself to know Nico so well. So for her to say no, I don't want to do this. He's like, wait, what? No, where like the Nico I know would be down, but it's like you haven't taken time to know all of Nico. You've got to know this one side of her, the side of her that her dad wants her to present to the world and be. But it's like she is a full person in this moment, both sides of Nico in this moment. And so it adds to her unpredictability because it's like, no, like I'm going to come at this a different way. And she starts landing blow after blow against him. He's like, wait, that's not how you would, what's going on, Nico? That's not how you normally go. And she's like, this me is me too. Like this is side me you just never got to know. And she lands the blow. This is like a little bit before, well, that final blow is dealt after her sisters got there in time to see it. And with that, she won and she gets to stay. And it's a very touching moment she had where she's kind of smiling and trying not to smile, but she's also tearing up, and Yu runs over to her, like wipes away her tears with the towel. And she's like, no, knock that off. Like, she's like, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's also like, because the rest of the club is kind of staring like, hey, yo, like, they're not used to seeing Nico that way. She kind of leans on his chest and is like, right, I can cry, if, for being victorious, especially like how much weight was on this because there's so much alleviation. One, she gets to stay with you and her sisters and not have to leave. So that's good. And she gets to stay with like her club, like she wants to stay. And then two, there's a little bit of the relief of after all these years, I get to enjoy every facet of myself when I've always had to hold back a part of me, deny a part of myself. And now I get to embrace all of me. And it's a very beautiful and touching moment. I was almost halfway expecting us to get like either a post-credit scene or just end it with like maybe Kazuki and Miwa being like, yo, what are you doing? Like you're having this almost like sweet moment with you. But I think the fact is they just lean into it and keep that as it is. They keep it that moment as that and not kind of like, interrupt it with like a jokey thing of them disrupting it, So yeah, I'm so curious to see Tatsumi's reaction next episode in the aftermath of this, because it's also going to show him that, like, once again, he's the top guy. He got beat by Nico because he was so certain he was stronger than her, and then it turns out like you've got a lot to learn too, because you've had your narrow view is what left you open to being defeated. And now it's like, because you assumed you knew Nico, but it's like, no, like she's grown and she's not the same person you knew. And that's just the strength that comes from, like I said, embracing all sides of it. So just a beautiful thematic element to the whole episode, and this kind of like arc for Nico is really dope. So I'm excited to see where the next episode takes us. I'd assume, having no future knowledge, we're going to get into the Miwa stuff because we already kind of went on the date with Kazuki, and now this with Nico. So I'm assuming Miwa is next. And once again, there's something like her shogi master was talking to her about that like we as the audience don't know yet, and it seems like probably Nico, you, nor Kazuki know about it either. So I'm curious to see if that ends up being the case, or we're going to have like a little bit of a buffer before we get to like the Miwa side of things. So, but really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.